Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender's office to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please come forward to the podium. Hannibal Osorio. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
February 10, 1969.
Sir, I have 8 charges this morning. I have 1 count of felony domestic battery by strangulation, 1 count of domestic battery, false imprisonment, assault on a law enforcement officer, and 3 counts of resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint you a public defender?
No, I want private.
All right, very good. State what you need to tell me.
The only thing in the history, there was a 2009. Yeah, 2009. It was a battery of same victim and with PTI and completed successfully.
Okay. And sir, I have an address for you on Southern Charm Circle in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. I retired from the military and I've been living there from 07.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Disabled. I'm 14 years of service, sir.
Okay. Okay.
3 combat tours. 3 combat tours.
I understand. On the felony domestic battery by strangulation, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500. On the domestic battery at $1,000. On the false imprisonment at $2,500. On the assault and the 2 assaults and the 3 resistings at $1,000 each. Hang on. Should be a total of $11,000. Condition of that bond is that you're going to have, if you get out, you're going to have no contact with Elba Nunez. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. You don't go where she lives. You don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bonds will be revoked and you'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that the charges related to her, she cannot drop. That's not a decision she's allowed to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. May tell them she's not interested in pursuing those matters. that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, you'll be held at the jail today up until 4 p.m., so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as the address on Southern Charm Circle goes, if you are able to bond out and she continues to stay there, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until these cases are resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, but to do that, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who would stand by while you collected your things and got going where you're going. You'll be back in court on the 15th of May. Very important when you contact your lawyer that you tell them about that court date on May 15th, all right? Thank you, sir. Okay. Melissa Elliott. What, Ms. Elliott, date of birth?
8/25/87.
Well, since one count of burglary of a dwelling, there's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Okay. I think you have some other open cases right now, too, right?
Yes.
Okay. And state history?
Other than the open cases, I believe those are in Paso. There is 2008. There was looks like a no valid license, no registration. That was also an FTA that accompanied that. Dealing in stolen property in 2013. Petty theft. It looks like this was guilty as multiple, so probably other thefts prior that are not listed on here. There's also probation violation. Looks like it's from that charge. 2018. These are some of the open charges shown out of Paso County: grand thefts, fraudulent use of credit card, grand thefts.
All right. Melissa, I'll set the bond on this one at $2,500. We'll move it to the 7th of May. That's where your other cases are. And if you don't get out, PD's going to come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Stacy Pattisol. Want to miss
Yes, sir.
What's your date of birth?
6/11/1985.
Stacy, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Neal. He found probable cause for 2 charges: burglary of a dwelling and grand theft from a dwelling. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Stacy.
Could we just get clarification on the last name? Because I have the history here. I show Pattisol and another name as well.
Stacy, have you ever had a different last name?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, you'd be aware, right?
I mean, I'm married, so my last name was Couch. My maiden name.
That's the one. Okay.
That's consistent with the record here.
Very good.
Okay, I'm showing 2010, driving while suspended license, there's probation violation that followed 2011, and a failure to appear. Let's see, there's 2016, it looks like false imprisonment. That was out of Pasco. 2017, another probation violation.
And Stacy, I've got an address for you on Talisman Street in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Oh, that's where I was staying, yes, until I was arrested.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I was working before I got arrested with the tree service.
Okay. On the burglary, I'll set your bond at $2,500. On the grand theft at $2,000. So the total is $4,500. I'm going to have you back in court on these on the 15th of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Michael Billingsley. Michael, what's your date of birth?
February 17th, 1993.
Michael, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint you an attorney from the Public Defender's Office?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
One second here, I was just checking a note here ahead to see if that was... I don't think that's going to apply to him.
Okay.
As far as criminal history, Your Honor, I've shown no reportable history.
Okay. Michael, I have an address for you on Shafton Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Correct.
And is that where Mickey Billingsley lives as well?
Correct.
And do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Mickey. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
I did, sir.
And did you understand it?
I did, sir.
Very good. Also going to hold you up until 4 p.m. so that if he wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. Also, as far as Shafton Road is concerned, as long as he stays there, you'll have to stay someplace else until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, but you must contact the sheriff's office before you go. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of May. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Austin Boudreau. Morning, Austin. What's your date of birth?
It's May 26, 1998.
Good. Austin, I have 2 charges this morning. I've got possession of marijuana and dealing in stolen property. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm going to get a lawyer.
Very good. Dave, can you tell me?
No reportable history, Your Honor.
I can hear you.
Your Honor.
What's that?
He's currently on probation.
I can hear you.
Hang on a second.
He's placed on probation January the 17th for possession of marijuana, 18 mm87, and a warrant will be forthcoming.
Okay. So apparently you're currently on misdemeanor probation, Austin. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I have an address for you on Gondolier Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 2 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I work at Cheddar's. I cook.
Pardon me. All right, on the dealing in stolen property, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000. That one's coming back on May 15th. On the marijuana, I'm going to set the bond at the $1,000. So your total all the way around is $3,000. The marijuana is coming back on the 9th of May. And then because you're on probation now, the folks from probation who are here with me this morning are telling me that they're going to issue an affidavit for a warrant for an arrest on the violation of the probation. That will probably happen late this week or early next week. That warrant will have a bond of no bond. So if you spend money getting out of jail now, when that warrant gets served on you, you'll be out that money. Because you'll be back in jail with no bond. I'm not telling you that you can't bond out. I'm just letting you know that that warrant is coming in the next few days, and it will be a no bond warrant. The misdemeanor case is coming back May 9th, the felony May 15th. If you do get out and speak to a lawyer, make sure you tell them about those dates, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Chad Foucher. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/28/1974.
Charge is unlawful possession of 5 or more identities of other folks. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
My attorney's Ashley Knowles.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
See, I have criminal mischief 2002.
We just got to open his felony case, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Want to jump right to that one? We'll be requesting that.
I was going to say, where are we at as far as offense dates?
The offense date I'm showing in our notes here for we have 17 CF 2441.
Right.
Offense date of November 7th, 2017.
Okay, there you go.
And obviously the offense date on here. And that is currently set for pretrial.
4/27.
On the 27th.
All right, very good. Okay. All right, then what we're going to do, Chad, on this case I'm going to leave the bond at the $2,000. I'm going to move it to the 27th of April because that's where your other case is. But then, because job number one when you're on pretrial release is don't pick up new criminal charges, it appears to me that you have, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471. I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in 17 CF2 441. So on your older charge, you're now going to be held without bond. When you get back to court on the 27th, your lawyer can bring that issue up with Judge Toner. Judge Toner can give you a bond back on that case if he wants. But both of your court cases will be in court on the 27th, and you'll certainly be in jail until then. Make sure you get a hold of Mr. Alls right away, okay?
Yes, sir. I got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So I got a bond on a new case, but I'm being held with no bond on my old case.
Exactly.
Oh, well, okay. I'm already held on no bond on my old case. Another thing, I'm not really worried about the new case.
Okay.
Just so the state attorney, and I'm not saying nothing's going to incriminate itself, so I'm not worried about it.
Don't talk about
the photographs of the credit cards that they have.
Sir, I recommend that you don't talk about
those. I just want to know those. They can contact Orange County Sheriff's Office and speak to detectives and Vice Unit. They already have those photographs and they have them credit cards, and they'll let you know who I am. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Scott Kitterman. Morning, Mr. Kitterman. What's your date of birth?
3/10/71.
Sir, the charge this morning is aggravated battery. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. See.
So you go back 97, plea to elude, false name in 2003, and it jumps to 2015 here. Have a plea to elude. 2015, resist without violence. 2015, DWLS, felony HTO. There's probation violation in 2015. I don't think there's. Yeah, no out of state. That's it here. Okay.
Mr. Kitterman, I have an address for you on Broad Street in Missouri-town. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
23 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
I'm going to leave your bond for the schedule, which is the $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Andrew Brown. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier this morning?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Have you back in court on the 15th of May. Very important that if you get out, you contact the public defender right away, okay?
All right, thank you.
Stop talking. Joel Lewis. Morning, Mr. Lewis. What's your date of birth?
7/20/1980.
All right. Mr. Lewis, the first thing I have for you is an order of recommitment in your older case, which is 18 CF 493. It was signed by Judge Toner. So Judge Toner has revoked your bond in that case, which looks like it's felony battery. So that case, you'll be on no bond, and it's coming back May 15th. As to that charge, did you have a private attorney, Joel, or did you have the public defender?
Public defender, but returnable date was supposed to be the 23rd.
Okay. You show anything other than the 15th? We'll check on it, Joel.
My note here, Your Honor, does show April 23rd for an arraignment
Okay.
on 18 CF 493.
Okay, all right, you got it, Joel. We'll have it back on the 23rd of April. Then the new issue is a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 2 charges, fleeing to elude and driving on a suspended license. Those charges, I will set the bond per the warrant, which is $5,000 on the fleeing and $2,000 on the other case, the suspended license. Obviously, you're on no bond on the old case. We'll send those also to the 23rd of April, so all your cases are coming back on the same day. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Benjamin Richardson. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/27/83.
Mr. Richardson, the charge this morning is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. And as to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I want to hire a private lawyer.
And state, what can you tell me?
I'm trying to 2002 petty theft and then 2008 DUI, but I don't see disposition on that one.
Okay.
And that's all.
All right. And Benjamin, I have an address for you. A private lane in Land O'Lakes, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. How long have you lived there?
4 years.
And do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Deliver pizzas.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bond for the schedule, which is $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of May. When you speak to your lawyer, make sure you tell him about that court date, okay? Russell Reiger. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/20/23/59.
Sure, the charge this morning is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, which like the public defender.
We want to plead no contest.
Okay, well, we can't do that this morning. Unfortunately, with these kind of charges, all I can do is ask if you're going to have a lawyer. You don't have to, but...
All right. I'll get a lawyer. I'll get a lawyer.
Okay. And state what you can tell me.
Nothing in the state, Your Honor. Showing, looks like New York. It was back in '86. There was a couple drug charges.
Okay. And sir, I've got an address for you on Hidden Trail Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, correct.
How long have you lived there?
About 10 months now.
Okay. Do you have a job
I
these
just
days?
moved up. No, I retired.
Okay. And Miss O'Connor lives there as well?
Yes, that's my wife.
Okay. To set your bond at $500, the condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss O'Connor while this charge is pending. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yeah,
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Very good. Also have to hold you up until 4 p.m. so that if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. As far as that address on Hidden Trail Drive is concerned, as long as she stays there, you'll have to stay somewhere else until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, but you must contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of May. If you contact an attorney, make sure you tell them about that court date, okay?
Okay.
Very good, thank you. Thomas Smith. Morning, Mr. Smith. What's your date of birth?
5/24/90.
Mr. Smith, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Showing a burglary of a structure 2009. That's all here.
And Thomas, I have an address for you on Gans Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
For about a year.
And does Miss Cook live there as well?
Yes.
Do you have a job these days?
Well, probably after missing work this morning.
Okay. What were you doing?
I was working I worked on cell phone towers. I traveled all over the southeast, worked on cell phone towers.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Miss Cook. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier today?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Also have to hold you up until 4 p.m. So if she wants to serve you with an injunction.
Sir, I believe there's already been like a plea of disclosure or whatever, a waiver of already signed and everything. That's what the officer that arrested me had said.
Okay. When I explained no contact this morning, I explained that it's not up to her. That
Yeah.
she can't get the charges dropped. It's not her decision.
All right.
She can ask that they be dropped, but that doesn't mean they're dropped. And the fact, frankly, that you're standing there at the jail means they haven't been dropped. Okay?
All right.
Okay. I'm going to hold you till 4 p.m. As far as the address on Gans is concerned, you can go by one time to collect your things, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office before you go. You'll be back in court on the 9th of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away, okay? Thank you. Thanks, folks.